winner of the New Jersey Press Association's Most Innovative Award.
Welcome back to Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shia, and I've got the headlines you need to know. Here's what's going on in your neighborhood. Sayreville scandal, Child Advocacy Center, recognition for Red Bank, Red Cross campaign, and Halloween hotspots. The future of the football program at Sayreville War Memorial High School may be in jeopardy. This uncertainty comes after last week's arrest of 7 football players charged in a hazing scandal that has rocked the borough. The allegations state that over a 10-day period in September, one or more of the suspects held juvenile victims against their will, while others improperly touched them in a sexual manner. School officials said the charges are severe enough that a longer suspension of the football program may be warranted beyond the 2014 season. In an effort to bring the community together in troubled times, local residents held a vigil for the victims. Greater Media's Adam Ujalko reports.
In an attempt to bring the community back together after the arrest of 7 high school football players, Sayreville resident Maureen Jenkins organized an evening vigil in support of the victims of the alleged sexual assault. Hundreds gathered in John F. Kennedy Park to express solidarity with the victims and try to bridge the rift that has grown between the community in the wake of the scandal. The Sayreville Coalition of Community Leadership, made up of Mayor Kennedy O'Brien, former mayors, and clergymen, issued a statement calling for healing and understanding. The mayors of Old Bridge and South Amboy were also in attendance to show their support. Following the vigil, participants walked around the park as a group to support the victims of bullying in Sayreville and elsewhere. For more on the vigil and the developing story in Sayreville, check out your local Greater Media newspaper.
And here's Mark Rosman with more headlines.
Members of the Marlborough School District Board of Education have been discussing the idea of changing the district from a half-day to a full-day kindergarten program. The board's desire to make that change will take a step forward in the near future when an architect provides a cost estimate for an expansion of the David C. Abbott Early Learning Center. According to Marlborough Superintendent of Schools Eric Hibbs, an expansion of the Abbott School, which is the building that all of Marlborough's kindergarten pupils attend, is necessary in order to properly institute a full-day kindergarten. The expansion of the Abbott School could be one component of a referendum to be placed before voters in March. Other projects that could be funded through the same referendum include the installation of air conditioning in all 5 elementary schools, and a roof replacement and the construction of additional classrooms at the Marlborough Middle School. Additional details about this issue can be found in this week's news transcript.
And here's a roundup of headlines you need to know. A child advocacy center in Monmouth County is entering its second phase. A 4,000 square foot addition will be made to the Freehold Township facility, which provides a safe haven for those who are victims of child abuse. Since the center's opening in 2009, more than 2,000 children and their families have received medical care, social advocacy, and law enforcement services. Some of the biggest names in music have come out of the Jersey Shore, and now there could be plenty more. That's because Monmouth University has become the only university in the East Coast to team up with the LA-based Grammy Museum. This affiliation provides the students with access to the museum for educational purposes and unique internship opportunities. The American Red Cross has announced a new campaign to reduce deaths and injuries from home fires. They hope to reduce this number by as much as 25% over the next 5 years. The organization is asking every household in America to take 2 simple steps that can save lives. First, check existing smoke alarms, and secondly, practice a fire escape plan. And in our entertainment section this week, we've got all the must-see destinations for the season. From haunted houses to fall festivals, check your Greater Media newspaper for upcoming Halloween-themed festivities. And now we have local sports.
Well, last week I gave the Rutgers football team a B-plus grade through the first 6 games of the season. Now the competition gets a lot stiffer, and it's going to be very tough for the Scarlet Knights to duplicate that effort over the next 7 weeks. This is the murderer's row part of the schedule the next 2 weeks. While Rutgers has exceeded many people's expectations at 5-1, not mine, I said they would be 5-1 at this point. They now go on the road to play 2 nationally ranked traditional powerhouse teams that have lived up to their names. It starts this Saturday in Columbus, Ohio, when the Scarlet Knights take on an Ohio State team that many left for dead in the preseason when all-world quarterback Braxton Miller got hurt. But you know what? J.T. Barrett has been just fine, thank you. And Ohio State has gotten better, dominating the last 3 games to come into this one with a record of 4-1. For the Scarlet Knights, It's the same level of difficulty next week. They'll go to another 100,000-plus seat stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers, who are also nationally ranked. Doesn't get much tougher than this. Few people give RU a chance in either game. They're nearly 20-point underdogs early in the week against Ohio State. But even if they come out of these games with 2 losses, all is not over. The Scarlet Knights have 4 left after that, and 3 are winnable. Wisconsin and Indiana at home and Maryland on the road. They need to win just one of those to become bowl eligible with 6 wins. To do that in their first Big Ten season would be a great achievement, and I think the Scarlet Knights will do it with room to spare. I'm Mike Pavlichko on 1450 WCTC and WCTCAM.com.
High school soccer teams are gearing up for the postseason tournaments, the Shore Conference, which begins next week, and the state sectionals. Those hoping to make a deep run in these tournaments need to be playing their best soccer of the season now. Last week, 2 teams with such ambitions, Manalapan and Freehold Township, squared off in what could be a preview of a potential meeting in the playoffs. The teams played to a scoreless tie, a tie that moved Manalapan a step closer to a second straight divisional championship. The match may have ended in a scoreless tie, but it wasn't for a lack of effort by the 2 teams. Both showed why they are 2 of the best in the Shore Conference, showing off their passing skills and their hustle, which separates them from most teams. Manalapan in red and Freehold Township in its home white took turns attacking each other as the action went up and down the field at a furious pace. Hardly what you would expect from a game that ended 0-0. When opportunities knocked, both goalies were up to the task. On this corner kick, Manalapan's Justin Turr stops a point-blank shot to save the day. Then it was back to action on the field as both teams tried to maintain possession and stay on the attack.
Oh, yes! Go, go! Go, Mike!
This is Tim Morris for Greater Media Newspapers.
A local teen used the skills he learned in Life Scouts to save the life of his very own mother. Taylor Lear has more.
A night of home improvements turns into a night of panic for Howell resident Kim Gertner. However, the decisive actions of her son, Anthony Tudorov, saved her life. On September 24th, Gertner severely sliced her hand cutting carpet in her home. With a 9.5-centimeter cut and Gertner losing blood quickly, Anthony jumped into action. The 15-year-old called 911 and got 2 belts to help his mother's arm with the blood flow. When emergency services arrived, they were amazed at Anthony's calm behavior. The Freehold High School sophomore learned these life-saving skills by being a Life Scout. He is working to earn his Eagle Scout in the next 2 years. To read more about Anthony's life-saving skills, read this week's Tri-Town News.
More than 10,000 members of the public voted in the People's Choice Awards for great downtowns in New Jersey. Jeremy Grossman has their top choice.
There was a time when Red Bank used to be referred to as Dead Bank, according to many of its residents. But now, downtown Red Bank has been voted by the New Jersey chapter of the American Planning Association as one of the greatest downtowns in the state, beating out nominees Asbury Park and Somerville. But while some pedestrians and business owners said that Red Bank deserved the title, many members of the community said that the downtown is not without its flaws, such as problems with parking, rent prices, and the types of stores opening up. Little Silver resident Rafael Scalari said that Red Bank should be friendlier to the retailer and have more mom-and-pop stores rather than the high-end shops that are reminiscent of New York. To read more about what members of the community think of downtown Red Bank, visit gmnews.com.
For more in-depth coverage and additional stories, see your Greater Media newspaper today. Share your thoughts on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Greater Media Broadcast News. I'm Susie Shia. See you next time.